Hey guys, Vehicle Hunter here. I just wanted to show you these two cars, which are essentially almost the same thing, but this one's a 1996 Toyota Paseo, and this is a 2004 Scion XA. And one of the things you notice right away from the Scion is this sits much higher than the Paseo, but the dimensions from front to back are about the same. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's right about the same size. But the Scion XA is a much better car, I think. And one of the things I really like about the Scion is that it sits so much higher than most cars. It seems a little bit wider, but it's just as wide as the Paseo, but it's much taller. So if I was to get in the Paseo here, and this is from the 90s. It's in good shape. It's such a reliable car. Let me see, open this thing. Extremely reliable car. But sitting on this thing, it is a very short car. Very low to the ground. I know you can't really tell based on how I'm sitting, but it is, my head is only slightly higher than the window of the Scion. And if you have any knee problems and stuff like that, these cars are much harder to get in than the Scion. And I do enjoy being a little bit higher, especially in these little hatchbacks, little cars, because when you're driving around in a small car like this, it seems like every single truck can like run you over. So let's start this car so you guys can see how it sounds. It's much louder, but for a 90s car, it is in surprisingly good shape. And it's my personal car, and it's a really good car. It's fantastic, really. I've never had any mechanical problems with this Toyota Paseo. It's just same engine, same transmission. It is really good, except it is very loud, as you can hear the engine. And the downside, of course, are the back seats. You can fold them down, but because of the coupe styling, it doesn't make it very useful. Let's go back outside. There's no four doors, which is another big downside of this Paseo. And if you were to go to the trunk, you can see there's not much that you can fit in here. I've carried a lot of stuff in here, and mostly out of utility because this is my car. But this Scion, it is much better for carrying. Let's see if I can open it. This one. Okay, there we go. So this is amazing. Like, why people should get hatchbacks. They're so much more useful. I mean, you can just drop these seats down, and you can have this just for storage if you want it. Look at that. They even have like little hooks here. And this one's missing a hook, but it is an incredible amount. I do like the four-door style of the Scion because a lot of times when I'm carrying things, I'll just throw it in the back seat. It's a little bit easier than like throwing a bag that's a little bit heavy on the passenger side. I prefer this sort of style. Lots of airbags everywhere, including the passenger side and the rear. The Paseo only has one airbag, which is in the driver steering wheel, and that's pretty much it. The riding quality is much harsher on that than that one, but you know, it's to be expected because the shocks and everything are pretty old on the Paseo. But I thought it would be a very cool comparison side by side from the Scion to the Paseo. It's really very close in engine size and everything. I believe they're both 1.5s. Let's start the Scion. So here's the cockpit of the Scion. You can tell the cluster is on the center instead of being in the driver's side. The engine on this thing is extremely quiet. It is a very quiet engine. Yeah, this is actually, it's a great little car. You sit so high up and it gets such good mileage. Surprisingly, the Paseo gets worse mileage than this one. And this one's a bigger car, much heavier car. But 90s cars were not meant for getting great mileage. Yeah, the Paseo still gets decent mileage for an older car, but it's 90s cars, they're definitely not as efficient as the newer ones. Alright guys, I just thought it would be neat to show you these two cars side by side. I'll see you in the next video.